Hello and welcome to today's video. My name's ArbieG and today we're back with the final round of the Beetles season. We're into round 10 now. We are at Brands Hatch, just showing up the first race now. Qualified in 4th position. Racing really today against Lay's 1 star. And Ryan is bad, you know, really. 2 main competitors in the standings. I think Lay's is about 10 points behind me in the season. Fortunately, a little bit late. This actual race took place a couple of weeks ago. A little bit late getting, quite a lot, a bit late getting this race turned out for you guys to watch. So I wasn't able to get the standings of how they looked before the race due to the time difference. But 10 points behind Lay's 1 star is the most important thing to remember as we come through turn 1 there. Will, like maybe a slight bit of contact from my rear there causes Will to have a wobble. Wasn't actually, I did hear a little bit of chatter happen in party, but I wasn't too aware of that happening. So, if you're watching that, apologies, Will. Doesn't seem to have done too much damage. I'm sitting in 4th place with Will just behind me in 5th. Got Arbie just in front of us in 3rd. As I actually look up on the inside of him early. It looks like I've got that move done. Got on that apex there on that left hand side and pushed myself up to 3rd. So good start. Want to keep myself up to Lay's 1 star to try and hold my position in the season, so he's the one I'm really trying to race against today. And let's just see if I can hold it together, finish in the top half of the race and secure the position that I've worked through for the season, which I've actually really enjoyed. Never been a fan of the Beetle, the Gr.3 Beetle before, but really found a bit of a love for it through this season. Actually run wide there, really bad wide, not enough to send me in a spin or anything, but enough to definitely lose a few places, as that season's now dropped down to 6th place behind LZ. So a little unfortunate there, gonna have to work that back if we can. Not too much of a difference to make back, but a bit of a bad one there to run wide on the first lap after doing so well to move up a position from where we started. As we come now to turn 1, probably the trickiest turn, I'd say for me anyway, the trickiest turn on this track in terms of making sure that you get right, not run wide and carry your speed through. So you can see there a lot of sand on the exit of turn 1, which can cause a bit of issues. We'll get some move done there on Arbie in front. So what we kind of want to see from someone following this pack is these lot getting in a few scraps and a few battles. It just affords me to pull up to them, which you can see it has done now, and a really bad exit there from LZ allows me to get involved. So alongside, I think we've got pace on him as well. We have. Looks like we're going to get that position 5th before we get to the turn, and now leaves us up behind Arbie in 5th position with LZ coming up on that inside again, but ultimately having to back out and slip back behind again. Not enough room to make it through there. As we come up in still a nice little pack here, pulled out a little bit from LZ. And we've actually skipped forward a little bit in the race now into lap 4. Pulled away a little bit from LZ, but still not managed to get that move done on Arbie yet. Is actually get a really bad exit from that turn there. Really got nowhere near the apex. You can see that's really impacted the exit. Lose out about a second and a half to Arbie there, and give LZ a chance to pull back. So real bad turn there. Got a bit of work to get this back. As we come through now. And it looks like Arbie's run himself wide there, so he's going to have real bad pace, and here's my opportunity to get that position. He actually comes in quite tight there. A little bit of side-on-side contact. We both come out of it unscathed, but I don't think he was aware. I remember giving him a shout in party at the time, but I don't know if he just didn't hear me or something, but I don't think he was particularly aware of my presence there as I come through, but we've got through and we've got back to our 4th place. And we're actually going to skip forward now. We've actually gone forward well ahead of the race to lap 9, because not much really changed. I went in for a pit at around about lap 7. But now we're just up behind Doors. Wasn't sure if Doors had gone into pit or not yet. Don't think he had. And wasn't sure when he was going to. So just waiting to get the move done here. And it looks like he'd actually conceded the position to me there to save himself some battling. So appreciated from him as we come through now. End of lap 9, going into lap 10. Looks like Dawes was going in anyway, so had I known that, I probably wouldn't have tried to push him. Not push him as in, like, literally force him somewhere in terms of pushing him to get past. So yeah, we've got a big gap between us and Lays at the minute, which is unfortunate. Arbie still don't think he's gone into pit yet, so be interesting to see what goes on from that point of view. Imagine when Arbie comes in and out, we'll pick up a position there, because we were just in front of him when those pits happened. And yeah, skip forward in the race, lap 13, so we're only a couple of laps left. A 20-minute race this is, and Arbie's gone in and out of the pits, sees himself just behind me by a second and a half, so not an insurmountable gap there by Arbie, but relatively comfortable for the next. It's a 15-lap race, I believe. Maybe a 14-lap race, depending on what kind of run you have. A 20-minute race, you can see we're at 18 minutes and 15 seconds on the bottom left, so interesting one nonetheless. As we come through now, hitting that apex there. If things were to finish how they are at the minute, it's not a bad result for us. It's all about where we are in relation to Lays anyway, and he's only one position ahead, so would have dropped a couple of points, but not enough to see away that 10-point gap we have coming into this race. And it will come down to the last race of the season, which will be the reverse grid of this race. As you know, each round comes with 2 races, so in theory we've had 20 races through this season, this one being the 19th. And we're coming around now to what will be the last lap with only a minute left. Well, Arbie really pulled up that gap though behind us, so a little bit of work to do for this last lap. Don't have to do anything too dramatic, as he does look up on that inside there, getting up on that inside, trying to make that move. Didn't quite get it done now, and I've held that position, so you can see why Arbie's going for it though. Last lap, you've got to make your move. Don't begrudge him that at all. As we just hold on now. I think he's sat off a little bit, but can't lose our focus and need to keep this 4th place if we can. The last half a lap or so to do, a few more turns to get through, making sure that we just get through neatly, don't do anything stupid, as Arbie's still sitting very, very close up behind. Did pull out a little gap on that turn there, but again he's getting the exit on me. I suppose the slip's pulling him along as well, which is helping him out. Didn't get neat as turn as he wanted through there, and that's afforded me that little bit more breathing room, pushing up now to about 3/4 of a second. Now we're just coming up to the last turn now, and I think it's going to be a hold there, as Will and Lays have gone over the line. Ryan's got an extra lap to do, and looks like 4th place is going to be held, so tight one at the end. Good little fight there with Arbie at the end, but yeah, not much to show in that race in terms of highlights. It was very much a couple of things happened in the first couple of laps, and really other than a pit stop happening, not really much happening beyond that, so not much there in terms of highlights, but still results wise 4th place, 1 position behind Lays 1 star. Not going to complain about that. And now he's got to make sure that going into the last race we hold that difference between ourselves and Lays and just see the season through really. So we're going to go into race 2 now then, and let's see how we get on with this one. Again, reverse grid, so with a 4th place finish we're going to pretty much be starting in 5th, so not really much difference for us in positions. But obviously the difference being that we're going to have the faster guys behind us and the slower guys in front, which can make the world of difference. Whether or not we try to aggressively get through the pack in front of the people behind us, or whether we let some of these guys go through and follow them in behind, is kind of a hard choice to make sometimes, especially being in effectively right in the centre of this pack as we get away. Not a great start from myself. See, I've already been pulled up against with Lays and Will as we go through turn 1. Again, not a great exit there, and it's probably going to see us drop back a little bit further. Got Will just on that outside there, giving him some room. Try not to give him contact like we did last time. Got Red caught up with us here. A little bit of slide from myself there. It's going to see me just try and keep the car under control, make sure I don't lose it. I have to drop back into last place, but better than spinning off completely. So we just try and get a really good exit through here. See Will losing a bit of grip on the exit there. Ryan looking like he wanted to make a move on Red. Myself pulling up very quickly here, but obviously not enough to make a move. Actually had to try and move the car a little bit in case we went up a little bit too quick on Ryan there, as you saw. A little sharp on the brakes to make sure we didn't make contact. And actually a bit of an accident there, a bit of carnage as everyone's all over the shop, and we just kind of weave our way through. Sees us up into 5th place, which is really fortunate in one way. Especially not to hit anything on the way through and get involved in that. But yeah, a bit of a nasty one there. Sees us move up to 5th. Capitalise on a bit of misery. Run a little wide there. Did well not to lose the rear of the car. Not particularly neat going through here this first lap. Need to try and keep it a bit neater and just again putting a good result. A bit of a shake up in terms of the grid. We've got Ryan is right at the back and Lay's just behind in front of him. And you've got Will moved up to the top, so interesting position we find ourselves in here if we can push on through some of these guys. Ranger and Elsie and Dawes are possible targets to try and move up through, so healthy position. But still early in the race and anything can happen, as we can see. Things change on a dime, so just got to try and put in a good result. And like I said, not really racing any of these guys really, with the exception of Lays. So just need to try and just put in an adequate at best a result. I'll come through now, just touching that apex there. Done a few races at Goodwood before. I like it. I kind of like it as a track. It's not one of my favourites, but you know, really fast-paced track. A lot of fast-paced corners. Makes it quite fun to do. Pulled up now against Ranger. Only half a second distance between self and Ranger. And actually run ourselves really, really wide there. And that's a really bad one. Again, that's twice on this race. And actually, really stupid of me there. Really bad track awareness to come up on that inside and make a bit of contact with Red as he was coming through. Fortunate enough that it didn't completely scarper him and send him off or anything like that. So pleased not to have that much of impact. Yeah, but a little bit stupid from me there. Coming back onto the track quite dangerously. Or I think maybe I thought that Red was going to go on the outside of me, so I dipped on that inside. But yeah, obviously not what happened. Skip forward now a little bit in the race. Move up to 6th position. Lays a couple positions in front, so definitely still some work to do as Elsie goes into pit. So very early pit there from Elsie, so gonna get in and get a good lap in and see if we can keep pushing. Try and climb some positions. Actually got a little penalty over our head, must be for a bit of a track penalty. Must have picked up there, which is quite rare to do in Brands Hatch. Must have been one of the fast corners. I cut in the apex a little bit too much. As we holding off alright, as we're in the 7th lap at the minute. A little bit of tyre wear. Going to be looking at as we come up through this sweeping left-hander. And it looks like we've actually caught the rear there and had a really, really bad one. So we try and get ourselves back on track, but this one might be a bit of a season killer. And I think that might be, as it looks like Elsie's going to get past us as well. Bearing in mind Elsie's already got it, he was the one who just went in for a pit stop, so that's how bad that one is. We've lost out effectively the entire pit stop time through that one. And yeah, that is not what you want on the very last race of the season, when it's quite close at the top there. Lays must be rubbing his hands together at the minute as he moves himself up to 4th place, and myself in last position now, with a lot of work to do to even not finish in last place, which I can't really see any other result here outside of someone else having a slip as bad as that one. But we've actually slipped forward now. Lap 13, not really much to see here other than me just trying to grind something up off the back here. You see me about 6 seconds off Red, which I've got a bit of pace. I can pull that back on him, but certainly probably not enough to get up to him and get past him before the end of this race. And yeah, it's really, really bad one with Lays moving up to 3rd as well. It's really put the season in doubt, and ultimately it is what it is. You know, you try and do your best, and you know, you can effectively lose a season in one corner. So if we've done that, we've done that. We'll try and learn from it, give a bit more focus going into our next races. and into the next seasons that we take part in. But yeah, really disappointed to come out on the bad end of what was a really stupid slip out by the looks of it, just trying to push myself too much. When I just needed to put in, like I said earlier in the video, needed to just put in at best an okay performance and I would have been fine. But I think, again, just trying to push myself too hard and trying to push too hard to get up through and pull away from whoever was behind me, or pull up to whoever was closing down in front, you know, and that's seen me lose out potentially. I think it's, well, not potentially, absolutely on the season if this is how the race finishes, which I can't really see anything else happening other than this, as we're in 8th position now, which is last lap, as we've just gone over the 20-minute timer, so we're into final lap now. So people crossing lines is going to finish the race for us. Ryan's going to win it. Will's going to come second. Lay's going to nab third, and yeah, I don't think it's going to change. So bit heartbreaking. I remember at the time feeling really disappointed in what happened. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't take away from what was a really fun season. It's just a shame, you know, to be out in front for so long. Since effectively like round 4 or 5, we've been leading out tier 2, with the exception of Roadrunner Dan, who's kind of really tier 1. You know, and then with quite a comfortable lead, and that's slowly been ground up by Lazy. He's had a really good end to the season. Really picked up some points, and you know, really pleased for him to actually come out and actually end up with the win at the end of it all. So 8th position there anyway. So definitely not the best result we've ever done. Last place, but something to learn from, something to move on from. But that is how the season ended anyway. So Lay's got himself first position by 2 points there. Myself in second with 200 points, and Ryan in third with 190. You can see how it worked out across the 2 tiers on there. And I know Dan, you know, is in tier 2 because he sort of hosted it and helped us out a lot with it. But really, obviously, he was a tier 1 racer, so that's how it's worked out. So yeah, the first season I actually took part with ART. Like I said, really enjoyed it overall. Hate to have that little sour taste at the end of it, but you know, to come away still in a second place in my first season, still really happy with it. So really looking forward to seeing what else happens over the time I spent with ART. And yeah, just want to thank people that I've raced with over the season and stuff. And I also want to obviously offer my congrats to Lays for winning it and being a really good rival throughout the season as well. You know, me and him feel like really well matched in pace. You know, perhaps there's a track or two I'm a bit stronger on, or a track or two he's a bit stronger on, but in general, really well paced with each other. So yeah, really enjoyed the season, and really looking forward to taking part in the next season, whatever that is. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and all the other stuff that you do here on YouTube. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, which hopefully should have the final round of the Masters coming out soon. So keep an eye out for that one. But for now, I've been in me, you've been you, and I'll talk to you really soon. Okay, cheers. Bye.